So you're heading back to your home state. Is this kind of the game that you've had circled on the calendar all year, getting back a chance to be in your home turf?
Yeah, I got people on the other team. I'm talking to them, talking stuff back and forth. So it's gonna be very, very fun and personal game. So I'm just looking forward to it.
Who are some of those guys you know on the other team?
Let me think. Tegra, Tisha Bowley, he played line. Jermaine Matthews, cornerback. Sony Styles, linebacker. CJ Higgins, linebacker. So.
Did you go to Ohio State games growing up? Have you ever been in that stadium?
I just been over there on a visit.
Okay.
But that's it. So.
Kaleb, I know they didn't offer you out of high school, and now you're one of the best running backs in the country. But do you feel like you're entering this game with a chip on your shoulder?
I mean, not really, because I really don't care about the offers and stuff like that. But I'm entering with a chip on my shoulder no matter what, because it's Ohio State. I want to beat them. So I feel like even if they offer me, I wouldn't have went, because I feel like I want to beat them. So it's not like a team thing that I want to be with them. I want to beat them. So that's my goal.
Kaleb, the kids in Cincinnati, it's like an hour and a half from Columbus, right? Is it kind of split between kids that want to go to Ohio State and kids that want to grow up and beat Ohio State? Is it like a 50-50 split?
Yeah, and it's people that want to go to UC too. So it's separate. It's like a little separation thing. So it's like if you want to go to Ohio State, then you go to Ohio State. If you want to go to UC, you want to go to UC. But a lot of people want to play against them because they're the top dogs. So that's what I want to do. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's gonna be really fun. So.
Was that always who you were? Were you always a kid who wanted to beat Ohio State?
Yeah, I'm not the type of person that like want to beat the top dogs. I don't want to be with them. I want to beat them. So it's just always a thing for me to show what I got against the best people in the country. So that's what I want to do.
Was that part of why you came to Iowa, a Big Ten rival?
Nah, not really. I came because of the stability of the coaches and how the people are as a person, how the culture here, and how people is here and how they treat you and stuff like that. So it's not just that; it's just like family here. So
if you like proving people wrong, you guys are big underdogs this weekend. Is that part of the mindset going in on this? Is that kind of culture?
Yeah, like people looking at us as to lose, and I look at it as motivation. So if I do good and my team do good, we're gonna win. So that's what I want to do.
How have you dealt with I guess, stardom or publicity you've gotten as the Big Ten's leading rusher the last couple of weeks? How have you processed it? How have you approached it?
I really just kept the little stuff out, kept all the social media stuff out, because they're just there because you're doing good, I feel like. So I feel like now just me just throwing, like I said, throwing that out the window, just focusing on my games. We got 8 games left, so I just want to focus on them and focus on the Big Ten championship. So.
Tim Lester was saying the other day, you go 100 miles an hour in practice. What does that look like? What does that mean?
I always finish my runs, 10, 15 yards ahead of the play when it's been over with, because, I want to, the little saying, practice how you play. So
how different sorry, KJ. How different are you from the senior at Hamilton High School?
I feel like I'm way more fundamental and way technique-wise and focusing on the little things I got to do, because in high school I was just running the ball, just playing football. So now it's just really serious, and all the little stuff, picking up pass blocks, getting out, to pass protection, and running the ball hard, where the ball should be at, stuff.
Kaleb, how close is this team to putting together a full 4 quarters of really good football? And that's what it's going to have to take against a team like Ohio State.
And it's going to be a slim of mistakes too. You can't make mistakes against both of these teams. So that's how I feel like we just got to make least mistakes and play hard and go out there and play. So.
How'd the bye week treat you? What'd you do to help kind of recover your body?
Recover my body, cryotherapy, stretched, came in here, did treatment, a lot of stuff. So I feel great now. I feel 100%, so I'm ready to go.
Do you watch football all day on Saturday? How do you enjoy it?
I watched Alabama Georgia game. I did all that, meditate, have my mind right, even though we got a whole week off. But, I'm looking forward to it still, watching film early, just getting ready. So that's just how I feel right now.
So you're like us and just sit on the couch for a little while and watch football?
Yeah.
It's not a bad life, is it?
It's not bad at all. It's not. But it was pretty cool, just chilling back and, recovering, and I needed this. So I'm 100% now. I'm ready to go.
You watch Boise State games, see Ashton Genty play?
That man's crazy. 260, 4 TDs, that's crazy, bro. But me and him competing back and forth, and I like it. So keep going. So
now it's your turn?
It's my turn now. So.
What do you like about going on the road?
Just the noise, and when you score, the quietness, how I go quiet, and the hype, you suck, all that, and so it just feels good when you score against a team like that, like Minnesota, saying that you suck, all that stuff, and just scoring against them, shutting them up, just felt great. So I like away games better than home games.
So I was going to say, do you prefer scoring a touchdown on the road?
Yeah, I do. because I like, like I said, I like the silence of the crowd, and I like how, how loud they were when we were, and now how silent they get. So it's fun. So.
Caleb, you played in this game 2 years ago. I mean, can you rank the shoe among the top away places to play as an opponent?
1 out of 10?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like 3, 2. So. Yeah, I always go say the Penn State game, but I didn't play it. I could just tell it was already loud in there. So, but yeah. So.
Why 2 or 3?
It's just like how the fans are out there and over 100,000 people in there. So it just feels like last time I was there, it was really loud and it was really cool. So.
How important was that bye week for you guys to just kind of rest and reset and kind of work on some maybe the fundamentals and timing of things? How big was it for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was huge. I think we definitely took advantage of the bye week. I think for us to not only get a little rest for the starters and get our bodies back, but also to work on some fundamental things is that's huge for us. And I think what's really good so far this season is we don't have a lot of guys banged up. So for us to maintain our health and for us to continue to stay as healthy as we possibly can, the bye week is a great opportunity for that.
Do you suspect that some of the guys from Ohio State are going to remember where you started your college career at?
I mean, kind of like everyone, we're kind of familiar with, where they transfer from, and, and I think, that kind of goes with studying your opponent a little bit. So, I mean, but that's in the past. So I think, they have, a lot of new guys, and I'm obviously playing for a new team, and, I'm just looking forward to, the opportunity.
You mentioned
what do you remember
that
from that? What do you remember from that 2021 game where you did beat them?
I mean, that was a huge victory, for Michigan, and for us to, win that game. It had been so long since we won. That was an awesome game, but, that was a couple years ago now at this point. So now we're just, they have a new team, and, we're a new team, and, we're looking to, play our best football this week.
You mentioned opportunity, the chance you guys have this week. Not many of the outside rules probably going to be picking Iowa to roll into Columbus and win. Do you relish that as the competitor, going in on a road environment and trying to maybe, shock the world a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, but that's why, that's why we're on the field playing. It's like we're not, sometimes it's awesome being the underdog, and I think, that's really where a lot of guys feel more comfortable, if anything. And I think, for obviously, I guarantee you we're going to be the underdog this week. That, that's just an awesome opportunity for us to, if anything, we should play, with, less stress or less, we should play more free, knowing that, that's fine if everyone expects us to lose. Like, what do we got to lose then? You know what I mean? So I think for us, if anything, it gives us confidence in knowing that, we can go out there and, we're going to play free and we're going to give it everything we got.
Is Coach Ferentz somebody who embraces that underdog role or really hammers that home, or is that not a conversation that comes up very much with him and his talks that he gives you guys?
I mean, we don't really talk about, who's favored or anything. We definitely would never talk about that. But I think, we understand as to, just based on the rankings, so I think, we don't really talk about it that much. I think it's just more of us doing everything we can to give ourselves the best opportunity to play and play at our best.
Coach Lester talked about bye week, about just the limited time you guys have had really working with the offense. How important was last week to you guys just to continue to develop?
Yeah, it was huge. I mean, I think for a lot of us, we were able to, spend a lot more time with Indy and stuff like that instead of, Friday we did a little bit more competitive work as far as just, starting defense versus starting offense. But I think overall the entire week was really just, a focus on the fundamentals. And for us to, whether that's going against a defense or us just working by ourselves, I think last week was huge. And I think, as the season goes on, we constantly want to get better every single week. And even if it's a bye week, I know we have another bye week coming up here in 6 weeks. So for us to take advantage of even the times that we're not playing to still get better is going to be huge for our team.
What do you like about going on the road, especially to a loud environment like Ohio State?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of like, what you dream of as, when you're envisioning yourself playing in college football, and you envision yourself playing in hostile environments and big games. And I think, those are the ones that you look forward to most. And, every single game counts, but it's even cooler when, it's a sold out crowd. And, and I think, for every guy, those are the opportunities that you look forward to. And, we definitely have one this week.
All right, man, just tell me about your confidence this year. One thing that your coach talked about the other week was that last year you guys kind of had, or you personally had maybe some false confidence, but this year it's kind of rooted in something a little bit deeper. Do you feel that in yourself too, that you've built back your confidence pretty strongly?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I build it every day in practice, just working on things that, because we can always get better. And I mean, success, like I've said something like this earlier, I know, but it's like success is not a straight upwards line. It's like dips and valleys, and the way I look at it is like last season I was in the middle of a dip, and this season I feel like I'm coming on the climb, I guess. Yeah, that's all I got for that.
Is there anything that got you through that dip? Was it, personal motivation? Was there any external sources, or was it just getting back on the field and making some kicks again that got you back in that confident state?
I mean, I will say being pissed off is a pretty big motivator, and I mean, I was definitely pissed off with how I last season ended. So yeah, I was definitely motivated. I also look back at like what I did my freshman year well, because that was a better season statistically than, of course, last year. And so I was like, all right, what are the things I did well my freshman year? Maybe that I didn't even know I was doing well, and like revisit those things. And I mean, I'm a rep guy. I gotta have a good feel for the ball, and I kind of combine the two things that help me. So like, I need a feel and like a rep count, and then on the other hand, I feel like, I mean, I matured late, and there's like so much more things I know now mentally, and I feel like I just combine the two, and I feel like that's leading to the success.
Are you stronger now? Do you feel like weight training wise, and does that factor in at all?
Well, I definitely am stronger. I will say the jump from freshman year to sophomore year, it isn't as high, but I am stronger. I mean, my lifts are all increased, and I've also worked more on my mobility, so maybe that's helped me.
Why?
Just because, I don't know, it just makes it easier to move around.
I didn't know if that helped in kicking or...
It definitely helps in kicking, yeah, because I mean, I gotta be able to, like, it's almost like overkill. Like, if I didn't really need the flexibility, but like the more flexible you get, the easier it is to be able to perform with the amounts of flexibility that you require.
I saw the celebration you guys had for at least the first few games. Was that rooted in Augusta? Is that an Augusta thing, having the golf drive?
I'm definitely a golfer. I did grow up in Augusta. Yeah, I let Luke pick the celebration. He's a pretty big golfer too, and so is Ty. So we're like, all right, we're like a week before the game. Like, all right, what should we do? Because we've done something every year, and we let Luke, I at least let Luke usually pick, just because he's like the senior guy, and so he's like, all right, let's just do a golf celebration because we love golf, and it's like, it's so similar to kicking, so it's like everybody would get it.
Well, I wasn't sure if I saw it during the Minnesota game. Are you guys changing or finding a different celebration, or did you do it and I just didn't notice it after your field goal?
Nah, we stopped doing it because, well, I mean, there's two different answers to this question. So one, there was one game where we did it like a little too late, and then somebody up in the box said, hey, we might get flagged for that. And then there was another, or Coach Wood says, the linemen might feel left out, so we don't really do that anymore for them.
Can't let those linemen feel left out.
Yeah.
So LeVar, I asked LeVar last week what Drew's range was, and he said the logo, but he wasn't specific. What do you think your range is?
Well, I mean, the conditions of the game definitely matter, but like, you want to go flat indoors. I mean, I've been pushing it. There's a lot. The thing is once you get to that logo, like, there's the little things start mattering that much more. Like, what kind of ball is it? What's the wind doing? Do I have adrenaline or not going? I mean, yeah. I don't know.
65, realistic.
I could get 65 there. Mm-hmm. It's just like, well, that's another thing people don't realize. Like, the thing that is like hard about those kicks is how straight it has to go. Like, when you get that far, the uprights are so small. Like, the upright or the ball has to go so straight to go in. Like, that's a factor that I feel like gets overlooked just because, like, oh, has he got a big enough leg to get it there? But yeah, I'm a bet on myself. I could definitely get that there.
End of the Iowa State game, did you run over to anybody and say, hey, I'm here?
I mean, I don't really advocate too much. I mean, would I bet on myself in that situation? I would love to have seen me take a crack at it. But, I mean, I don't know. I tell them my lines pregame, and my line didn't go that far back. But I also wasn't playing on a desperation end of the game. Like, I also, yeah. I don't know.
LeVar was mentioning that you're reading more now.
I am reading more. I don't really like to read. It's one of those things where it's like, dang, like, God, I really don't want to do this, but it does help you. So, I mean, at some point it's a business decision. Like, and reading definitely does help me. Like, there's things I've figured out in my game that I read from books. So, yeah, I am reading right now. I'm reading The Effective Executive right now. Yeah. It's how you like manage your time, right, and things like that.
What are some of the other books you've been reading?
Well, we read Golf's Sacred Journey, which is I did pick up. So I am at the write-up right now, and then I play like a draw because it's like it just makes it a lot easier to aim when you're sitting back there. And I learned that out of that book. It's like if you hit the kick one time, now you know that you can hit it, so it's not like out of reach or whatever. So, and then there's another thing in that book that it was said, which I will say we have a guy named Baker, who punted here a while ago, and he taught me something too. He recommended the book Effective Executive that I read, but he recommended something. If there is a board laying across the ground and he told you to run right across it, you would run right across it, right? Now let's say the stakes or the board's way up there and you got to run right across it. It's the same board, but you might struggle a little. You might wobble a little just because of the pressure. And that's a choice that you're making to think that way. And knowing that, you can adjust, and I don't know. I feel a lot less like tense in the game, I'd say. Like, I don't know. I feel much more confident in my kicks.
LeVar was saying a page or two a day. Is he underestimating that at all?
It probably averages out to that. I'm not usually like a per day guy, but I'll do like a big chunk here and like a big chunk there. So it probably does average out to that though, probably.
I'm just curious about that special teams room, what you've seen in Reese so far, his development as a punter, his growth, confidence, that kind of thing in his first year here.
I mean, he's definitely developing. I will say that. In terms of the technical side of things, he is figuring some things out. And I also think, like, it's perfectly normal and human to be, like, a little nervous in your first game. Like, you don't know what you're doing in your first game. No matter what you can tell, you don't know how a player is going to react and play until they actually do it, until you actually are out on that battlefield. And I feel like the first game, everybody's nervous. Like, I was nervous my first game, but it just, like, is growing pains, And I feel like he's growing faster than I would have guessed, honestly. Because, you saw the Minnesota game. He was hammering balls that game, and I don't know, it really showed his progression.
I figure, were you a Georgia fan growing up?
I was a South Carolina fan growing up. It was a tough life growing up.
So you weren't. I was going to ask about the Georgia-Alabama game. Were you watching that?
Oh yeah, I was cheering for Bama. I'll tell you that. Georgia fans are unbearable, and Clemson fans, which tough life because they both won some natties in there. So
I have some good friends who live in Roebuck, South Carolina, and they got hit pretty bad with a storm this last week. Is your home okay?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody back okay?
Well, I could get my phone out and show you a picture right now of our street, but it's like covered, really? And we still don't have power in our house. But my parents went to the beach, so they're good.
So the beach is okay, but it's inland that's in trouble right now?
It's because inland, there's all the trees that were like falling over and stuff. Like, it's blue skies. There's just trees everywhere, and power lines have been collapsed and stuff.
And you mentioned the one Big Ten offer. Now you're going to be playing in front of 105,000. When you kind of full circle, like, man, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool. Be much better to go in there and win a game. I'd be more excited about that.
What do you see from them offensively this season that maybe you didn't see a couple of years ago?
They always got playmakers.
Yeah.
They always got a pretty good receiver. They always got a pretty good running back. They just do a good job of getting their playmakers the ball, getting them in space. It's really got to be a good tackling team versus Ohio State. They live off big plays. They live off guys missing tackles. They live off extra effort, like any good offense would. So our job is to get as many guys to the ball as possible, get guys to the ground as fast as possible.
They've been running it a little bit more. What is it about their run game that impresses you?
Yeah, I think their running backs are really good at setting up gaps. Obviously, their offensive line is extremely talented as well, creating those gaps. But their running backs, I haven't seen them miss a gap yet. And they're always running through arm tackles. They do a good job of running through contact, getting upfield, and fighting for every yard.
Jay, I'm 90% sure there's a Jay Higgins on the Buckeyes.
Are they really?
90% sure.
Is this the third time? Wait.
Yeah, because you had Jay at Iowa State.
Yeah, and then Troy had a Higgins.
Oh,
my fault.
No, you're good.
Troy had a Higgins, right?
I think they did.
He was a receiver.
Yeah. So you pay attention to that a little
Yeah, if somebody says first down Higgins and I'm on the sideline.
So Jay, you played in a whiteout. You played at Ohio State a couple of years ago. Where would you rank the shoe among the top away Big Ten environments you could play in?
Probably get in trouble with that answer. I'll leave it. It's a good environment. Obviously, it holds a lot of people. Hawkeye fans, I hope they'll be there and they'll travel. Buckeye fans like their team, so I'm sure it's going to be a hostile environment.
Is there a pretty big difference when you're scouting a team like that? With all respect to other Big Ten opponents, is this a team where you're like, boy, you can really tell they've got a lot of future first-round draft picks on the team?
I mean, talent pops out on tape all the time. Guys stand out. I think they do a great job of playing with effort, all 11 guys on the field. Obviously, you got special playmakers, and then they have, the combination of young guys and older guys on the offense. I think there's playmakers, and they do a good job of getting those guys the ball in space.
How difficult is it for a freshman to go in there, and whether it be Ohio State's offense or another offense, to kind of be that big time playmaker? But that Jeremiah Smith seems like he's a guy that just pops out on tape.
Yeah, I would say it is difficult, but he's making it look pretty easy. So I guess it's easy for him. He's one of those guys we got to know where he's at all times, locate him, see where he's aligned, and we understand he's their big play guy, special athlete. Made some amazing plays last week against Michigan State. So our job is to try to hold that guy under his average. If we can get that guy under his average, that'll be our best bet.
Is there any aura or intimidation going up against going to a place like this where they're number 3 in the country? It's at their place. They've got all these NFL guys.
If you want to play in the NFL, you'll probably play against some talented guys. So if you can't play against NFL talent in college, you probably won't play in the NFL. That's kind of how I'm looking at it.
Is this the closest you get to a homecoming game this year? Do you have a lot more people?
I know, right? We don't have IU or Purdue. I actually do have a lot of family members coming. I appreciate you saying that. Probably be a lot of shenanigans with the tickets and stuff, but yeah, this is my closest game all year. It's crazy.
Sure. How fired up are you to get this opportunity? I mean, this is pretty epic to go to the Horseshoe and check on these guys.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Excited for the opportunity. Excited to play a good team. Excited to play NFL running backs, NFL offensive linemen. It's really just time to play. We can all the rhetoric, but it's what you do on Saturdays that matters.
It is a homecoming for Luke Lachey. So I guess from watching him, how has he grown from his first year here to where he is now?
Obviously in size. I think the dude's got a lot bigger. He got here, had opportunity to learn from a guy like Sam Laporta. And then his leadership from freshman year to this year has just been crazy. You can tell he's learned a lot. He learned a lot about the game. He learned a lot about how to be a teammate, how to be a leader, what's it like to influence a team in a positive impact. And he's one of my closest friends, so I've always been close to Luke. I think he's had a pretty good career so far.
I know he was hurt last year. What was he like, not being able to play but still being there for the team?
Yeah, it's hard when guys get their season taken away from them. Usually you see guys, go be by themselves and feel bad for themselves, rightfully so. But he was one of those guys who didn't miss a practice after, showed up every game, every away game, and doing his best, just trying to help coaches. Guys on the team can appreciate that. That's why I think a guy who didn't play the following year gets voted as team captain the next year.
Me personally, I don't really pay too much attention to the crowd. I just be focused on my job on the field, and everybody get loud. It's gonna sound loud regardless. So I really don't pay too much attention to that though.
What are the things you guys are focusing on this week to be able to go in there and get the job done? Obviously, every week you guys want to play clean football, that kind of thing. What's the key to going in there and pulling an upset, if you will?
Number one thing is just competing our butts off. Just competing and doing our jobs. And if we do that and playing clean football, then we should get the job done.
They've got, I think, 5 projected first-round picks and a bunch of other dudes that are younger. Is there any intimidation or aura about a team like that that's, Ohio State at their place, anything like that?
We just, regardless of rankings and stuff like that, we just going to go out there and compete like our coach tells us. That's just the number one thing. You got to compete. You can't look at these stats and things like that because that's losing half the battle before you even play. So just, they got good players, but we're going to compete.
You like it? A lot of people aren't going to pick you guys to win this game, but you're, clearly a good team yourselves. Going in as an underdog is, what's that mindset like?
You say nobody expect us to win, but we believe in ourselves. That's all that matters, what we believe. We don't really focus too much on the outsiders and things like that. So as long as we believe we can win, that's what we can do.
Do you mind an underdog mentality, or do you like to kind of adopt that for a game like this?
Either or, we still got to do our job. Whether we the underdogs or projected to win, we still got to do our job and handle our business. So really don't.
How close is this team to putting everything together? It seems like there's great quarters, great halves, all those kind of things. How close is this to – and it's going to take one of those complete game efforts to beat a team like the Buckeyes, right?
Yeah, it's definitely going to take what we're doing throughout the week. Just working against each other, preparing. That's the number one thing. Preparing and competing is the top 2 things we can do, and we putting in the work in every single day, so we should be in a good position.
What was maybe different about that second half against Minnesota? It just kind of seemed like you guys I don't want to say you got your swagger back. You've had a good defensive year, but it just seemed like you guys really pieced everything together over the final.
Just halftime adjustments, seeing what they're doing against us, and adjusting to those things, the things that we are having trouble with. Just adjusting to it, and just staying focused.
And some of the earlier explosive plays that were given up, I think Phil and a couple of you guys said that communication was maybe lacking or any of that. It just kind of seemed like that second. Again, I don't want to reflect too much on Minnesota, but it seemed like the communication was just kind of where you guys expected to be at.
Definitely, we always harping on good communication because that's going to put us in the best positions to defend certain plays. So yeah, we just just adjustments and just having better communication.
Bye week, does it make a difference to your body? Like, can you tell how fresher you are this Tuesday versus like a previous Tuesday?
Definitely.
What's the difference?
That's probably the biggest impact on bye weeks. Just recovering your body, stand off your feet just a little bit more, and recovery is a huge factor. So I definitely feel a lot fresher, I would say.
They're trying to get the ball in space, outside especially, just for their players to go able to make plays. But we're going to try and limit that, limit the explosive plays, limit the big plays, and just go out there and play our game.
How much does tackling come into that equation?
We always got to tackle. We haven't had our best tackling throughout the season, but some we're turning around, some we're focusing on. So just go out there, make the makeable plays.
Is this game coming at a perfect time when you have a big opponent like this? You're coming off a bye week for you guys. Is this are you catching Ohio State at the right time if you're Iowa?
Yeah, I feel as if we are. We're coming off. We got an extra week to get healthy, extra week of preparation instead of just going out, flying around. Everyone's healthy, everyone's flying around, so we're just out there for the chance to compete.
What was Phil's message to you guys during the bye?
Really just get healthy, work on the fundamentals, get rested some of the older guys for a couple of days, make sure everyone's getting ready to go, and get healthy for this long haul, this 6-week stretch we're about to go into. But it starts with this week, so we got to go 1-0 this week.
Do you like these 2 bye-week seasons?
It will help a little bit, yeah. Obviously, you want to play every week. You're watching football, but you'd rather be playing. But it is going to help everyone's mental and physical health for sure.
What did you do Saturday?
I was just sitting there watching football games all day.
What did you watch?
Really, the game I really watched was the Alabama-Georgia game. It had a pretty crazy ending.
Yeah. Did you watch Ohio State?
I watched a little bit, tuned in, but I was really just focused on that for a little bit.
Do you watch Alabama pretty closely, having a buddy that actually plays on that team?
I follow them sometimes when I can. I really just throw a game on and just watch and kick it a little bit. But I don't like watching football too heavily to dig too deep, but I do enjoy watching some of my friends play.